What's good, hoop heads? Your courtside analyst Tips and Streams is back in the game. On the slate today, breakdowns for the latest NBA matchups set to light up the hardwood. Before we tip off, make sure you slam that subscribe button on our YouTube channel to stay in the loop with all our predictions and top picks. So, let's get started. The first today's prediction is for the matchup between Boston Celtics and Indiana Pacers. Tonight's face-off in the court is all about the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers, and it's shaping up to be a sizzling chapter in the league's storybook. On the Pacers' turf, these squads are hitting the hardwood with some eye-catching stats in their playbook. The Celtics are riding high with a 27-7 scorecard, dropping an impressive 120.82 points each game. They've got their shooting dialed in, boasting a field goal rate of 48.21% and sinking threes at 37.44%, showing they've got a sharp eye for the hoop. The Pacers, holding a solid 20-15 record, aren't just warming the bench. They've got the Celtics beat in scoring, averaging 126.38 points per game. Their field goal and three-point shots are a shade better, at 50.43% and 37.97%, signaling a serious offensive threat. But they're trailing in the rebound game, snagging just 40.24 compared to the Celtics' 47.27. Looking back, the Celtics have been the top dogs in their recent face-offs, clinching 7 out of the last 10 games. But they've been shaky against the spread, only coming through in 4 of those matches. In their last 6 showdowns on Indiana's court, the Celtics have a slight edge with 3 victories, but covering the spread only twice. The Celtics' recent form is a mixed bag. They've covered the spread in 8 out of their last 12 games, but against the Pacers, they've been off their game, only covering in 2 out of the last 7 matchups. The Pacers, on the other hand, are on fire, sweeping 6 straight wins, both straight up and against the spread. With back-to-back games on the horizon, the Celtics have history on their side, but the Pacers' performance in these situations raises some red flags. The odds are tipping towards the Celtics with a 5.5-point spread in their favor, and the total points are expected to hit a sky-high 246.5. Given the scoring prowess of both teams, it's no wonder the expectations are for a point bonanza. The Celtics' recent wobbles against the spread, mixed with the Pacers' hot streak, make this a tough call. The Celtics might look strong overall, but the Pacers' recent form and home advantage could shake things up. So here's the deal. With 2 consecutive games between those 2 teams in Indiana, each showdown's likely to have its own flavor. The Celtics might be the favorites, especially considering the Pacers' shaky back-to-back performance. But the Pacers' form and the Celtics' travel fatigue could tip the scales. Expect the scoreboard to light up beyond 246.5 points, given both teams' knack for high scores. The next today's prediction is for the game between the New York Knicks and Washington Wizards. Tonight's face-off on the hardwood has the New York Knicks squaring up against the Washington Wizards in a hoop showdown that's buzzing with anticipation. The Knicks are hitting the court with a solid 20-15 record, towering over the Wizards, who are dribbling behind at 6:28. This matchup is a slam dunk of intrigue. The Knicks, notorious for their power plays, are racking up an average of 115.26 points per game, just a hair's breadth below the Wizards' score of 116.21. But in the paint, it's about more than dropping buckets. The Knicks' slick field goal average of 46.57% is a stark contrast to the Wizards' sharper 48.13%, and their domineering rebound count of 45.35 per game overshadows the Wizards' 39.36. From beyond the arc, the Knicks are nailing it with a 3-point shooting average of 37.51%, outshooting the Wizards' 35.42%. In a game where three-pointers can be game-changers, this stat can't be overlooked. On the assist front, the Knicks' average of 23.79 per game falls slightly short of the Wizards' 27.52, hinting at a more solo flight approach to their gameplay. Recent plays have seen the Knicks keeping their game tight, while the Wizards have been fumbling, only managing 2 wins against the spread in their last 7 and 1 straight victory in 6. The Wizards also seem to lose their magic at home, with a disappointing 2-11 straight-up record in their recent home games. Contrastingly, the Knicks have been acing it against the Wizards, especially in their turf, netting wins and covering the spread in their last 5 visits. Both squads are rebounding from back-to-back games, a scenario that's been a real test this season. The Knicks have bagged only 2 wins in 7 such instances, while the Wizards have missed every shot in their 5 back-to-back bouts. This could swing tonight's game, especially with the Knicks often finding themselves trailing by an average of 5.7 points in these rounds. Injuries are also key players. The Knicks are without Mitchell Robinson, while Landry Shamet's play for the Wizards is up in the air. These absences could redefine team strategies and game flow. The odds are tipping in favor of the Knicks with a 9-point spread, and the total points bar is set at 238. But given the Wizards' streak of underwhelming plays and their lackluster home game record, the Knicks seem poised for the win. Despite their back-to-back game struggles, the Knicks' sharper field goal percentage, rebounding prowess, and track record of dominance over the Wizards in their hometown make them the likely victors, though not strong enough to beat the spread. Wrapping it up, I'm throwing my bet behind the Wizards to beat the spread. Sure, it sounds like a long shot given the Knicks' stats superiority and my own analytics leaning, but this time I'm deviating from the numbers. It's a rare move for me, without any personal bias fueling it. My final score, the Washington Wizards covering the 9.5-point spread. The next today's prediction is for the game between Utah Jazz and Philadelphia 76ers. Tonight's face-off on the hardwood pits the Utah Jazz against the Philadelphia 76ers in what's shaping up to be a high-octane basketball duel. The Jazz, sporting a lukewarm tally of 16-20, are set to lock horns with the formidable 76ers, who've racked up an impressive 23-11 record. Don't let the numbers fool you, though. This matchup's got more layers than meets the eye. Philly's got the home turf advantage, and we all know that's no small deal in the hoops world. The 76ers are shooting lights out with a field goal percentage of 48.08% and raining threes at 37.50%, outshining the Jazz's 45.98% and 35.37%. But the Jazz aren't trailing far behind, outmaneuvering the 76ers in the rebound and assist game with stats like 46.09 boards and 27.57 dimes a game, showing they can dictate the game's rhythm. When it comes to recent clashes, the Jazz have had the upper hand in 4 out of the last 10 showdowns against the 76ers. In Philly, though, the Jazz's record dips, with only 1 win in their last 6 visits. Yet, they've kept the losses within a 9-point margin. Injury-wise, the 76ers are feeling the heat with key players like Harris, Covington, Korkmaz, and Melton all on the questionable list, while the Jazz are coming in all clear. Both squads are hitting the court on the second night of a back-to-back, which can be a real grind. The Jazz have grabbed only 2 wins in 6 back-to-backs, and the 76ers are in similar waters. This could even the odds as the game wears on. The Jazz have been a mixed bag lately, covering the spread in 6 of their last 8, but struggling in matchups against the 76ers. Meanwhile, the 76ers have been dominating their home court. Betting lines have the 76ers as heavy favorites, but the Jazz's resilience and Philly's injury concerns could narrow that gap. In summary, while the 76ers are the safe bet on their home court, the Jazz are primed to upset the spread, leveraging their rebounding prowess and the 76ers' injury list. Expect a tightly contested bout, but the Jazz should keep within that 12.5-point line. I'm banking on the Utah Jazz to beat the odds tonight. The last prediction for today is for the matchup between the Milwaukee Bucks and Houston Rockets. Tonight's showdown on the hardwood between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Houston Rockets is shaping up to be an epic battle on the court. The Bucks, sporting a solid 25-10 record, are on a hot streak, averaging a whopping 124.77 points a game, shooting a smooth 50.05% from the field. Their accuracy from beyond the arc is impressive too, hitting 37.89%, showcasing their offensive firepower. The Rockets, holding a respectable 17-16 record, aren't lagging far behind, with an average of 113.03 points a game and a field goal percentage of 46.67%, including 36.98% from downtown. When it comes to dishing out assists, the Bucks are leading the charge with 26.40 per game, just outperforming the Rockets' 25.41. But the Rockets snatched the lead in the rebounding department, pulling down an average of 45.06 per game, slightly more than the Bucks' 44.43. These stats highlight the unique strengths of both squads, setting the stage for a closely contested game. Examining their recent form, the Bucks have been a bit unsteady against the spread, only covering in 3 of their last 9 games. Yet, they've clinched 10 victories in their last 13 outings. They've been particularly dominant against teams from the Western Conference, boasting a 5-0 win streak. On the flip side, the Rockets have had mixed fortunes. Despite enjoying home court advantage, they've only managed 2 straight-up wins in their last 6 games, though they've been stronger at home, winning 14 of 19. In direct matchups, the Bucks have been the dominant team, winning 7 out of their last 10 games against the Rockets. However, when it comes to covering the spread, the scenario flips. In their last 5 visits to Houston, the Bucks have covered the spread just once. Given the Rockets' stronger performance at home against the Bucks, they might have the upper hand in covering the spread tonight. It's worth noting that the Rockets are facing a back-to-back game situation, a scenario where they've traditionally struggled, winning only once in their last 5. This might affect their energy and performance tonight. Injury updates are crucial too. The Bucks are missing Jay Crowder, while the Rockets have Tari Eason as questionable and Dillon Brooks out. These absences could shake up team dynamics, especially for Houston. With all factors considered, current trends, and the odds favoring the Bucks with a 6-point spread and an over-under of 239.5, I'm leaning towards the Rockets covering the spread. Their home court edge and history of outdoing the Bucks in spread contests in Houston, combined with the Bucks' recent spread struggles, tilt the odds in Houston's favor. But here's my real play. I'm betting on the total points. In the Bucks' last face-off with the San Antonio Spurs, the final score was just 6 points over what's projected for tonight's Bucks-Rockets game. Considering the Spurs' low defensive rating compared to the Rockets' impressive 4th-place standing, and the fact that in the last 5 Bucks-Rockets games in Houston, only once did they score top 240 points, I'm betting on the total staying under 240 tonight.